All right, guys, we are moving on in Unit 1 to page 9 in our binder. We're going to talk about environmental indicators and sustainability today, and then we're going to talk about how to calculate your ecological footprint. So, starting off with environmental indicators and sustainability, the first thing we need to figure out is, what do these two things mean? Now, you've probably heard the term sustainability before, and you may know what that is, but very few people actually know what an environmental indicator does. Okay, so an environmental indicator, all right, and I've been practicing my writing, so hopefully this is gonna be better today. Okay, so an environmental indicator, what it does is it describes the current state of the environment. We need to be able to understand what is happening at all times. Why did it do that? Okay. I'm going to take that off. Describes that should be, why did it do that? The current state of the environment. Okay? So as I was saying, it's important that we understand what's going on at all times with the environment, because it's basically what we live in. We're dependent upon it for survival. We get oxygen from the air, we get water, so it's important for us to know, is it in a good state or a bad state? All right. Now, sustainability refers to basically how people choose to live their lives. Do people recycle? Do people use too much oil? Do people use too much water? Because what we want to avoid are depleting those shared resources that we all use. So when we talk about sustainability, okay, sustainability, we are attempting to avoid depletion of natural resources. Now, natural resources are things that come naturally from the environment. So we have air, we have water, we have oil, we have coal, natural gas. You can probably think of a lot more examples. We don't want those depleted, because once they're depleted, we're not going to be getting them back. So it's important that we make choices to allow those resources to be sustainable so that they're going to be here for a very long time. All right. Now, when we look at the hierarchy of indicators, okay, so remember, an environmental indicator is what is describing the current state of our environment. When we look at the hierarchy of indicators down here, okay, so this is where I am right here, we're going to look at it in different levels. Now, the first one's over here where it says administrative. All right. These are things that we really can't impact, because this is mostly the government making choices for us. Okay. So very few of us have input on the administrative portion of the hierarchy of indicators. This is where the environmental ones right here, this is where we have the greatest impact. So we have changes in emissions, changes in ambient conditions. So ambient means basically perfect conditions for survival. Changes in uptake or assimilation. So basically, this is referring to the air and the soil, how all that is changing based on the pollutants we're releasing. And then changes in human health or ecological condition. All of these things right here, guys, all of these 4 levels lead to stress in the environment. Okay? So these are the things that we want to avoid. Lead to stress in the environment. We want to avoid these things, okay? Or do our best to prevent them from happening. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Oop, not that far. All right. There are, if you look right here, where it says indicator, there are 4 different types of indicators. Okay? So, we have, I'm going to get out my highlighter. Okay? So we have biological diversity, food production. Okay, this is average global surface temperature and carbon dioxide concentration. So I'm going to go back up here and get my pen. Come on, pen. Okay, this right here is referring to climate change, which we see happening every day now. Okay. So I'm going to go grab my highlighter again. All right. The next is human population, and then we have, this is not what I want, go away. And then we have resource depletion. Okay. Oh, Lord, y'all. All right, resource depletion. Okay. Now, for the AP test, you need to be able to talk about 2 of these. So I want you to pick 2 indicators to discuss. It does not matter to me which ones you pick. So pick 2 to remember. If you want to remember food production and human population, that's up to you. If you want to remember climate change and biological diversity, whatever you guys want, you pick 2 of those to remember and be able to talk about on the AP test. Okay? All right. Now, I am going to go down to the next page. We're just going to do the top of this next page. All right, ecological footprints. Now, this is one of my favorite activities that we do all year, because what you're going to do is you're going to go online and calculate your ecological footprint. So you're going to record basically how you live your life day to day, what type of house you live in, how much you travel, the kind of food you eat, because all of that impacts your ecological footprint. Okay? So basically, the ecological footprint is a specific measure. Okay? What the ecological footprint measures is how much a person consumes expressed in area of land. Okay, so typically it's going to give you a number in hectares. Hectares is simply a measurement of a portion of land. And what it takes into account, as I told you guys before, okay, I'm going to come down here to my highlighter. All right, how much energy you use, where you live, the amount of paper you use, how much food and fiber you consume, and seafood. Now, I know some of you guys are probably like, I don't like seafood. But seafood, if you think about globally, seafood is the #1 protein globally, because there are many, many highly populated cities that live in coastal regions, and that is their main source of protein. Okay, so you are going to be calculating your ecological footprint using an online tool that I have provided for you in your assignments. and you're going to do the quiz, and you're going to determine how you can help make your ecological footprint a little bit less than it is. So hopefully you guys understand this, and let's move on to you calculating your ecological footprint.